Bob Padron runs care businesses employing EU citizens, joined this morning by Olga Garcia, who is a Spanish migrant worker. Before we speak to you, Olga, let's hear a little of what you had to say when you appeared on the programme last year, shortly after Britain voted to leave the EU.
Well, the first thing, I feel a little insecure because after 4 years, I don't know what is going to happen. I'm a little lucky because next year I can ask for dual nationality, but most of my work colleagues and everything, they cannot do that. They don't know what is going to happen on the future. Well, to be honest, nobody knows.
How does it feel, Olga? Good morning, first of all. How does it feel listening to yourself and your reaction a year ago, and how do you feel now?
Well, this is great news, to be honest. For me, I feel much more relaxed right now regarding my future in the UK.
Why?
And I think a lot of the UK citizens, they feel the same.
Why is that? Is that just based on Theresa May this morning saying that citizens, EU citizens' rights, all 3 million living in the UK, would be protected?
Yes, it is, because at the end of the day, every day is like you don't know what is going to happen, but right now at least you see like an end. You know, she said that we can be relaxed. Most of the people that we are already here living in the UK, that we can be relaxed, and that is good news for me.
What has the past year been like for you, living with that uncertainty about your future? You work for Bob, I understand.
Yeah, I work for Penrose Care, and it was a bit stressed because at the end of the day, Penrose Care, most of my colleagues, we are all from abroad, so we don't know what is going to happen. We don't know if we could stay here or we have to leave our jobs. So it was very, very stressed.
Bob, you run a care business. How does this affect you?
Well, I think it lifts a major cloud in terms of what kind of contingency planning we need to put in place in case the status of our current EU national staff was put in jeopardy. So it does relieve that stress. Of course, in the grand scheme of social care, there is an unprecedented recruitment crisis, and that existed before Brexit. So this kind of guaranteeing the status quo only makes things less bad. I mean, things are still very difficult in terms of the recruitment scene in social care. But of course, it has Brexit, the impact of the Brexit vote on social care recruitment have been severe. We have done our best to insulate ourselves from these consequences.
Well, can you give us a sense of how many people you employ from the EU?
80%. So roughly 80% of our staff are from the EU. I know that's much higher than the sector. I think the sector is 1 out of 20.
And the business operates here in the UK?
Yes, in North London.
Right. People watching at home may think, why aren't you making more of an effort to employ British workers? What would you say to them?
Penrose Care puts an incredible amount of effort to employ the best people who can work in social care, whether they're from Britain, from the EU or elsewhere. We do that by providing good working conditions. We're one of the few home care providers that pays the London living wage. We pay for travel time between client A to client B. I know there's a controversy about sleep-in shifts. We've always paid at least the minimum wage for sleep-in shifts, so we have done our best in terms of working conditions to attract locals. But in the end of the day, if people do not want to do this job, we need to look for people who do. And
so you're saying that British people aren't applying for those jobs? Exactly.
I mean, it could just be where we are in London. I do know that our proportion of EU nationals in our staff is higher than average. It's much higher than average, and that could, I don't know the reason for that. It could just be where we're based. But we're, you know, of course we are agnostic on where our staff come from. We just want whoever cares about looking after vulnerable people and can do a good job, we'll consider to hire them and train them. We do hope that more British-born people will enter social care, but if there's difficulties recruiting local staff, then of course we need to recruit whoever is willing to step up and do the hard work which social care is, but it's very, very vital and important work.
Okay, thank you all for talking to us this morning.